Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. A gentle warmth fills the streets of a quiet little town. The first rays of sunlight illuminate the shop windows and create shimmering reflections on the sidewalk. Passers-by, absorbed in their phones and their morning routines, hurry by, oblivious to the details around them. At the corner of a bakery, an elegant woman in her 50s, perfectly groomed and dressed with care, walks briskly. She clutches her bag to her chest while checking her phone. In her distraction, she doesn't notice that one of the bag's straps has come undone and it's slowly sliding to the ground. Nearby, a black boy, about 12 to 14 years old, wearing a simple t-shirt and worn pants, is waiting for the bus. He glances distractedly at the street and notices something fall. Instinctively, he runs to pick up the bag before it is crushed by a bicycle or trampled by a passerby. The boy hands the bag to the woman. She looks at it with surprise, then suspicion. Her eyes initially express suspicion. Why is this boy stopping for her? Is it a trick? But as she opens the bag and sees that nothing has been stolen, gratitude begins to pierce her mistrust. The boy, a Maori, whispers timidly, "I believe it's up to you." She nods, her lips pressed tightly together, and takes the bag. There's a heavy moment of silence, where the city seems to stop for a few seconds. A Maori takes a step back, his heart a little heavy, but the discreet smile he manages shows the satisfaction of having done the right thing. When she opened her bag a little later, the woman discovered an old photograph forgotten among her papers, a yellowed image of a boy and a little girl holding hands. The resemblance to a Maori was striking. A shiver ran through her. This small, simple, and innocent gesture from the boy wasn't just an act of kindness, it would unleash a series of emotions she hadn't anticipated. The prologue ends on this contrast. The city continues its course, but for the woman and for a Maori, an invisible bond has just been forged. A bond that will change their day, and perhaps their lives, forever. A Maori, the black boy, is waiting for the bus under a large tree whose leaves are rustling softly. The bag falls a few meters from him. Without hesitating, he runs and picks it up. A Maori, murmuring, "It's hers. I hope she won't hold it against me." He follows the woman, who continues walking, visibly preoccupied with her phone. The sound of heels echoes on the sidewalk. A Maori takes a deep breath, then hands over the bag. A Maori, "Excuse me. I think this is your bag." The woman stopped abruptly, her eyes narrowed. "Woman, what?" "Thank you, but..." His tone hesitates, suspicious. A Maori, "I found it on the ground. I just wanted to return it to you." She picks up the bag, clutches it to her chest, and looks at it for a moment. She can't help but assess the boy, his age, his appearance, the way he speaks. The mistrust is palpable. "Woman, do you live in the area?" A Maori, timidly, "Yes, just over there." Woman, Thank you again. Be careful." A Maori nods his head and steps back. He feels a slight weight lift from his shoulders. He did the right thing, even if the woman's gratitude is cold. The woman returns home, still surprised by the boy's actions. She opens her bag and discovers an old, yellowed photograph of a boy and a little girl. She frowns, fascinated by the striking resemblance to a Maori. She murmurs to herself, "Woman, but, that's impossible." A shiver of emotion ran through her. She sat down on her sofa, the photo in her hands, her heart beating faster. Long-buried childhood and family memories resurfaced. She realized that this boy might remind her of a past she thought was lost forever. A Maori, meanwhile, returns to his bench, watching the bustling street. He sees the woman disappear down an alley, still engrossed in her phone, and feels pleased but curious about the reaction he has provoked. He doesn't know that his simple gesture will create a powerful and unexpected emotional connection. The chapter ends with a close-up, the boy's hands, clean but slightly dusted, clutching a small book he always carries with him, a symbol of his innocence and goodwill. Back home, the woman places her bag on the kitchen table. She breathes deeply, trying to calm the agitation in her chest. She opens her wallet to check that everything is in its place. Her eyes fell on an old photograph she had almost forgotten, a yellowed image of a boy and a little girl holding hands in a park. The little girl had the same features as her daughter, and the boy bore a striking resemblance to a Maori. Woman, in a low, trembling voice, but, it's him. How is that possible? Time seems to stand still. The room becomes silent, except for the ticking of a wall clock. Childhood and family memories come flooding back, the loss of contact with her brother, past quarrels, buried regrets. Flashback, the woman sees herself as a child, playing with her brother in this same park. She hears their laughter echoing, remembers their youthful arguments and broken promises. The photo strikes her with its resemblance to a Maori. It's as if the past has suddenly returned to the present. She feels a mixture of shock and guilt. She realizes she judged the boy too quickly, solely based on his appearance and young age. Her hands tremble slightly as she places the photo back on the bag. Woman, whispering, I was wrong. I judged him without reason. The woman picks up her phone and dials a number, her voice still uncertain but determined. Woman, hello, can you call me back if you know that boy in the street this morning? Yes, the one who returned my bag. She hangs up, her gaze fixed on the window. An idea takes root. She wants to find him again, not to reprimand him, but to thank him and show him that she recognizes his act of kindness. She feels that this innocent gesture deserves to be honored, and that her own heart must open to understanding and gratitude. A Maori, for his part, went home, but he couldn't stop thinking about the woman. He wondered if she had retrieved her bag and if she understood that her gesture stemmed from a genuine desire to help. The woman, meanwhile, went out into the street, watching the passers-by intently, hoping to catch a glimpse of the boy in the distance. Her attitude had changed, mistrust had given way to empathy. Final shot, the city continues its frenetic pace, but something new is brewing, an unexpected connection, ready to blossom between two people seemingly worlds apart. The camera pulls back, revealing the bustling street and the empty bench where a Maori had sat just minutes before, a symbol of the impending encounter between kindness and gratitude. The woman paced the city streets, her heels clicking softly on the pavement. Her bag was still slung over her shoulder, but her mind was elsewhere. Every street corner seemed to conceal the boy. Her eyes scanned every face, a mixture of worry and guilt in her. Woman, whispering, I have to find him. I have to tell him. A passerby gives her a surprised look, but she doesn't notice. Her heart beats faster at the thought of repairing what she had almost ruined through her initial mistrust. A Maori is sitting on the same bench as in the morning, watching the passers-by. He is reading a small book, but his attention wanders, as he wonders if the woman will thank him properly. The woman approaches slowly. Woman, excuse me, it was you, wasn't it? The boy who gave me back my bag? A Maori looks up, surprised by her tone and humble posture. A Maori, yes, it's me. Woman, voice trembling, I want to apologize. This morning, I was cold, distrustful, and I shouldn't have been. Your gesture was so kind. Thank you, truly. A Maori smiled shyly, touched by her sincerity. A Maori, it's nothing, madam. I just wanted you to have your bag. The woman takes a small bill out of her bag, as if to thank a Maori, but she hesitates. She shakes her head and smiles. Woman, no, that's not what I want to give you. I want to offer you something better. A coffee, or something sweet. And maybe help you with your school books if you want. A Maori blinked, surprised and happy. A Maori, really? You would do that for me? Woman, yes, because your gesture deserves more than just a thank you. They get up and start walking towards the corner cafe. Their footsteps echo side by side, marking the beginning of an unexpected and sincere connection. Sitting in the cafe, they exchange a few shy words. The woman recounts some anecdotes from her childhood, while a Maori talks about his school and his passions. Little by little, mistrust gives way to trust. Close up, their hands on the table, the steaming coffee between them, a shared smile that seals a first step towards a deep human relationship. Wide shot, the city continues its frenetic pace around them, but this small corner of a cafe becomes a haven of understanding, gratitude, and human warmth. In the days that followed, the woman and Amaury met regularly. She accompanied him to the bookstore to choose his schoolbooks, encouraged him to read, and shared his passions. Amaury, for his part, discovered the warmth and attention that an adult can offer without ulterior motives. Close up, Amaury is leafing through a book, his eyes shining with curiosity. The woman smiles at him, proud of his thirst for knowledge. Woman, you have a real talent for understanding what you read. Keep it up. Amaury, timidly, thank you. I didn't think anyone would be interested in me like this. One afternoon, they settled in the park where the old photo had been taken. The woman took out the photo and showed it to Amaury. Woman, look, this photo, it made me realize something important. Your gesture that day wasn't just kind, it touched my heart. Amaury looks at the photo and smiles gently, feeling that he is part of something bigger than a simple act of kindness. Little by little, the woman became involved in a local association to help the city's youth. Amaury, encouraged by her, participated in some activities, discovering the pleasure of sharing and helping in turn. Wide shot, the bustling city around them. At the center, the cafe and park where the conversations began. Children's laughter echoes, symbolizing the beginning of a more open and supportive community. The final scene shows the woman hanging the old photograph in her living room, a symbol of healing and remembrance. Amaury walks past, looks at the photograph, then at the woman, and smiles. Woman, a simple gesture can change everything. Amaury, yes, thank you for giving me a chance. Final shot, the camera slowly pulls back, revealing the entire city bathed in the setting sun. Two lives changed by a simple act of kindness, and a universal lesson: compassion can forge unexpected bonds and transform hearts.